Imagine suing a billion-dollar company you know you can't beat and doing it anyway because losing was the smartest move you could make. That is exactly what's happening in the Mark Sanchez case. Here's what's going on. We are going to talk about the civil side of the Mark Sanchez case that happened here in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago. Here's a short version of what actually happened. Sanchez attacked a victim and the victim defended himself, and both men were seriously injured. Now, while the criminal case plays out, the victim, Tole, has gone and sued Mark Sanchez in civil court here in Indiana. But that is not the interesting part. The interesting part is that he also sued Fox News. You heard that right. The lawsuit doesn't just name Sanchez, it names his employer, Fox Corporation. And if your first thought is, wait, what does Fox News have to do with any of this? You're not alone. Because generally speaking, your boss isn't responsible for what you do on your own time. This is what lawyers call the scope of employment rule. If one of my associates goes out after work and causes trouble, the Marc Lopez law firm doesn't have to pay for their mistakes. That's why when I saw the complaint, my first thought was, Fox will never pay. But then I saw who filed it, smart attorneys. And I thought, okay, this is not dumb, this is strategic. So what is Tole's claim against Fox Corporation? It's called negligent hiring, retention, and supervision. The argument goes something like this. Fox had a duty to make sure its employees don't do anything harmful or reckless, and they either knew or should have known that Sanchez was unfit, maybe because of drinking, temper issues, or other red flags. Now, before you get too excited, let me hit you with some Indiana law. In Clark versus Harris, the court said, and I'm paraphrasing here, an employer isn't responsible when an employee commits an act way outside their job duty. In that case, an employee literally left work, drove across town, and did something terrible, resulting in the unaliving of another human being. And the company was not on the hook. So, under the same reasoning, Fox News is going to argue this had nothing to do with his job. He wasn't filming a segment. He wasn't on company business. He definitely wasn't in a Fox van. And honestly, it looks like they're right. Fox will almost certainly not pay a dime in this case. So if Fox appears to be bulletproof under Indiana law, why sue them? Because lawsuits are not just about winning. Sometimes they're also about leverage. When you sue both the employee and the employer, something magical happens. They start pointing fingers at each other. Fox will say, hey, it's not our fault. Sanchez was out of control. Sanchez's lawyer will say, well, Fox maybe should have known he was unfit. Maybe they'll say something like that. Probably be pretty bad of them to say that. But they're going to finger point at each other. And that's gold in civil litigation. It divides your enemies. It's straight out of the art of war. If your opponents are united, divide them. Plus, suing Fox opens the door to discovery. That's lawyers speak for, give me your files. You can ask for employment records, HR documents, emails, internal policies, stuff that Sanchez may not have access to or the ability to hand over. And so suddenly Fox's lawyers are on the defense. And the plaintiff has a new source of information, maybe even new witnesses, and maybe if Fox knew about some stuff Sanchez has been involved in before, they could be opening that wallet to pay some money on the civil side. Not likely, but it's possible. So this lawsuit against Fox is not just being litigious, it's being smart. But let me be very clear. I don't think Fox will end up writing a check in this case. Indiana law is just too tough on negligent hiring claims when the conduct occurs off the clock. But strategically, by naming Fox, the plaintiff gains leverage. Two defendants means two insurance companies, two legal teams, and twice the incentive to settle. Even if Fox never pays, they are now part of the conversation. And in litigation, being in the conversation matters. It gives the plaintiff options. Now, I will say this, filing the lawsuit so soon after the criminal charges might have hurt the victim a little bit in the court of public opinion. Timing does matter. You can look aggressive instead of sympathetic. But from a pure strategy standpoint, it's genius. This case forces Fox to answer uncomfortable questions, puts pressure on Sanchez's defense, and keeps the story in the news cycle. Even if Fox wins legally, they lose a little bit in PR. Sometimes that's part of the plan. So here's the takeaway. I don't think Fox will ever pay. The law in Indiana is against the plaintiff on this one, but that doesn't mean the lawsuit is dumb. It's actually a masterclass in litigation strategy. Use every available angle, divide your opponents, get access to information. Sometimes the goal isn't to win against everyone, it's to make the other side fight each other. And that, my friends, is smart lawyering. Now, these are just my thoughts. I have not talked to any of the lawyers involved. It's just what I think based on what I know of Indiana civil law. So I don't think Fox is going to pay. Now, if you've watched this long, please like this video and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. But most importantly, if you've been injured in Indiana, give us a call 317-632-3642. We would love to talk to you about your options.